you are going to mash up your ears. WOLFPACK, assemble! What's going on? It's TC, and this is why I don't listen loud when I make tunes. Firstly, if you're new to the WOLFPACK, a very warm welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. And if you find any of the information in this video useful, please smash that like button. And if you're not already part of the community, part of the WOLFPACK, hit the subscribe button to receive notifications every time I upload some fresh new information. Also, don't forget to check out my samples and presets for Serum, Vital, Massive and FMA. Check out my t-shirts and hats. Follow my Anthems playlist on Spotify and follow my Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Links in the description. So this is why I don't listen loud when I make tunes. So for many years, I've heard really bad stories of people who suffer with tinnitus and ear damage from prolonged exposure to loud audio levels. So if you listen to stuff loud all the time, you are going to mash up your ears. If you're getting ringing in your ears after a studio session or after going to a club, that is a sign of ear damage. And you've got to be so careful because you only get one set of lugs. You only get one set of ears in your lifetime, and they're precious, incredibly precious, the most precious thing. You know, you could lose an arm, but you can still play, you can still use a keyboard and mouse, you know what I mean? So just really looking after your ears is super important from a production point of view. There's been times when I've played gigs, got back from gigs afterwards, maybe taken my earplugs out or kept my levels too loud in my monitors, and I've had ringing in my ears. I feel so disappointed in myself because I know that I've done damage. And for the next week, sometimes I've had it where it's been a couple of days, 2 or 3 days after playing a loud show or ragging out my monitors in the studio that I find myself not being able to get the right balance or hear things in the right way. And it distresses me greatly. Some people are more prone to ear damage than others. So there's been times where I've played a lot of gigs without earplugs in the early days, and I'm really lucky not to suffer from any kind of tinnitus. Maybe a slight bit of tinnitus if I'm somewhere really quiet. Like I've noticed it if I've gone on holiday somewhere and I'm staying in like somewhere where it's super quiet. I'm talking like no noise. Then I can hear just like the slightest bit of ringing in my ears. But I'm very lucky to not have any permanent ear damage as yet, which is a blessing. There's a couple of reasons why I don't listen to things loud when I make tunes. I want to give myself a break because if I'm DJing every weekend, I want to make sure that in the week I'm exposed to very low audio levels when I'm making tunes for the weekend. I know some people go really geeky in on this and they get themselves decibel meters to have in the studio and they regulate their listening levels, and I've heard levels, I don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert, but around 85 decibels is a level that I've heard about that is a good standard. And the reason why you would want to have consistency across your listening levels is 1, to not piss off your neighbors, 2, because it changes the balance of the EQ. Your EQ of your ears changes. The louder you go, it can make you more or less sensitive to different frequencies, and that's not going to translate well unless you're really used to it to every system. And if you are really used to listening at high level, then you're doing nothing but damage your ears. So it's definitely a good habit to get into listening quieter, listening on the more subdued level for a longer period of time than ragging out your speakers and mashing up your ears. Loudness is really like a drug and you always want more. So you're always going to be creeping over to that volume level and just like pushing the volume all the time. And showing a bit of discipline with that is super important because, again, you might think that something sounds better than it does because you're just ragging those levels a little bit high. So even 1 decibel change in level can make you think that something sounds better to your ears. There was a story of a mastering engineer and they go super geeky in on their testing for when they buy new equipment, and they bought this new piece of kit which was a DA converter. So it was the thing that made the sound come out of the playback device and then into their desk. And they were convinced that this new one was so much better than the old one that they were using until they did some really, really careful testing on it. And they found out that I think it was just 1/2 a dB louder on the output than the original unit that they were using. And that was enough for them to be like, this sounds incredible, like so much better, when in fact it's not. And you get it when you're doing EQ changes or compression changes. If you're making changes to bits of equipment or to plugins, unless you've got the same level before and after the processing, if it's just boosting it by 2 dB or 1 dB, you're going to be like, that sounds so much better, when in fact it may not actually sound better. It might just be that your ears are changing the balance, or you're getting that drug of more loudness. So your ears are basically, they've got compression built into them. When you're exposed to loud levels all the time, your ears will turn it down, I guess, as a protection mechanism. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the exact amounts or by what, but I know that if I'm sat in a studio and it is being ragged, my ears are going to become less sensitive as a session continues. Or if I'm DJing out, I know when I leave, my ears are much less sensitive to levels, and it can change the EQ. I always do this test when I leave a club, where I kind of rub my fingers together next to my ears, and sometimes if I've been stood next to one of the monitors and it's been like here, I'll have a little bit less top end in that ear, and that is scary for me. So what is a good level for me? I just work really quiet, really quiet, so I can hear what's going on, but so it doesn't affect my ability to make subjective decisions on mixing or on what's going on in the tune. So I don't really have any set levels, but I just keep it quiet. I always try and keep it quiet. Then when I feel like I'm losing vibe on a tune, only then will I treat myself to like a quick blast on the drop maybe. So I'm just like, hey, brap, you know, and then I'm like, okay, I know that's got that hard hitting flavor that I need, and then I'll just return back to the quiet level. So ear care is just so crucial in this game, because you've really only got one pair of ears. There's, you know, when you go out and if you're going out to clubs or DJing, when that stuff comes back, earplugs are essential. You know, I made investments in my ears, so I'll get the molded ones with different filters. So you can get ones which are molded that you can put little filters in, and they keep a flat response. So you can actually DJ with these earplugs in, but you can still hear the audio levels like flat across the spectrum, so it doesn't really throw you off too much. Sometimes it can feel like you're DJing in your bedroom when you've got it turned down by 20 dB in comparison to what everyone else is hearing. And you have to be careful of the fact that not everybody in that room or in that DJ booth is wearing earplugs too. So if you're ragging those monitors and there's someone next to you who's got no earplugs in, you could be doing them some damage. So I usually try and like keep those monitors at a normal level. I'm not that guy to be like ragging out. I do have a bit of a reputation for ragging systems, but that's just the way that I roll, unfortunately. So yeah, that's why I don't listen loud when I make tunes. It can change your ears' response to the sound, and the loudness is like a drug, and you'll just keep wanting to turn it up and up and up. By the end of the day, you will have rinsed out your ears for the next day. So that's it. If you found anything in this video interesting, please smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can keep up to date with all that's new from me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you have any ideas for future videos. Don't forget to check out my sites in the description below for samples and presets. They really are incredibly good value for money. A massive big up to all the WOLFPACK. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Not too loud. Turn it down. Turn it down. Turn it down.